So the live-action adaptation of The Last Airbender is just around the corner. Fans are hyped for it since, despite some negative reviews, the reactions to the screener episodes have been incredibly positive. However, being made by Netflix, the show will follow their typical binge format of releasing every episode of the season all at once. This being the first on-screen Avatar content in a decade means that many fans are wishing for the ability to watch the episodes weekly, to be able to discuss and speculate in between episodes, allowing for hype and excitement building for each week, just like The Mandalorian Season 2. However, we already know that this won't be happening, and that's absolutely heartbreaking. But with your help, we can change this. There are a few reasons that Netflix does this, but in large part it's because of their heavy dependency on word of mouth. If someone binge watches an entire series and tells their friends about it, said friends have absolutely no barrier to entry since they can also binge the episodes immediately, so long as they pay for a subscription. However, with something as huge as Avatar, I honestly think this is just dumb. There's already going to be a natural word of mouth as people ask their friends if the new live-action Avatar is any good, and when the friend replies saying it is, hopefully amazing, the questioner will then catch up, and then they'll be at the exact same point as their friend. Much more fun than not knowing as much as their friend, and their friend could drop spoilers, so I think the weekly release is much better. On top of this, the new person finding out about the show can also take part in the speculation and gossip, and the theory crafting and all of that stuff, because not everything is known. The friend who recommended them won't know how things end, where things end up, so they can take part in the speculation just as much as all of their friends. The weekly model makes the release of the episodes feel like a big event in a social circle, and there's no doubt whatsoever that one episode a week for 8 weeks would get much more subscription money. That's 2 months instead of just the one. I mean, if they released everything on one day, sure, you get a month, but once that's over, who's going to renew again if they're there just for Avatar? I mean, it just does not make sense to not spread out the release. Disney, on the other hand, knows this very well. With their Star Wars series, they release a couple episodes on the first day and then release weekly from then. This presents an opportunity to get viewers deeply sucked into the content before waiting in excitement for the release of new episodes, and that way you can have cliffhangers, teasers, and cameos, getting you ready for the next episode with speculation and hype in between the weeks, not just on one day. Recently, fans have been very vocal about their wish for the show to release in this way, with the most notable participant in the dialogue being The Avatarist, the biggest YouTuber of the Avatar franchise. Let's take a look at what he and others have to say about this, so we can more broadly see how people feel. In response to Grace Randolph noting how jam-packed the episodes are, after she had seen them, expressing that Netflix is missing an opportunity for weekly releases, Avatarist responded by saying, "Please at Netflix, it's not too late to make it weekly. It would help out the popularity of the show so much." Someone replied to him by saying that nobody wants this and that the people prefer binging it, to which he said, "I prefer batch episode drops 1 to 3 because I like engaging with the community and speculating about future episodes." This adaptation will have lots of moments where you can speculate the direction it'll go, but I understand anyone who just wants to binge it and move on. In a reply to him, someone gave a great example of how beneficial weekly releases truly are. They note that the live-action adaptation of The Last of Us had 22% more viewers for its second episode than its first, and that the finale had 74% more viewers than the premiere. It's literally free money being left on the table, as well as the growth for their subscription service. This tells us very clearly that if the show's good, it'll pick up viewers over time as word of mouth grows. If that all happens in one day, there's no time for that word of mouth to grow. Some noted that they understand weekly would be better, but that they've waited so long and they want to sit down and watch it all at once. An 8-hour dedicated Avatar sounds pretty intense, especially on a Thursday of all days. Anyone in school or work will have to save some of the episodes for Friday and maybe even Saturday as well. This opens the door to spoilers being spread, as well as stress building up around watching the show, which is the exact opposite that entertainment is meant to provide. Some suggested releasing 1 episode a day, which may serve as a middle ground best of both worlds, since you get some time for speculation, but you can also watch the episodes back to back, with very little time in between. A user called I Am the Clayman said something which really gets the point across. Weekly over binge, all day, every day. The community around a weekly show is always better than a binge drop. That's because when the episodes come out weekly, people actually have time to watch the episode, mull it over, take time to dissect it, and even watch it again to spot Easter eggs or bits of foreshadowing. When everything comes out at once, now people feel pressure to rush through the series out of FOMO, and it enters and leaves the cultural relevancy way quicker. Some people have noted that they would want weekly in any other case, but that when it comes to Avatar, which they love very dearly, they want it to release all at once so that they don't need to deal with people nitpicking and hating on the show for silly reasons after each episode comes out. This is an interesting perspective which I can understand, but I still think it's missing the forest for the trees. The person can easily disconnect themselves from online critics, whereas someone who doesn't have time to watch it all at once doesn't have a choice to avoid spoilers all around the internet or even in real life. One scroll of Twitter and it could all be over. So obviously this is an issue with a lot of people split. Some love and some hate the current release scheme, and some love and some hate the weekly release that we'd love to see. Regardless of what opinion you hold, let me know in the comments what you think about this and what you would like to see for the release schedule. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.